The power of desire, turn dreams into reality. There comes a moment in every human life when the difference between who they are and who they could become becomes impossible to ignore. A moment when the soul grows restless. A moment when the ordinary feels unbearable. A moment when something deep inside begins to whisper that you were made for more. Most people hear that whisper and silence it. They bury it beneath excuses. They hide it beneath routine. They suffocate it beneath fear. And year after year, they convince themselves that the life they truly want is unrealistic, impossible, reserved for someone else. But there are a few people, very few, who choose a different path. They listen. They honor that whisper. They protect it. They feed it. And eventually, that whisper becomes a burning desire. That burning desire becomes a vision. That vision becomes action. And that action transforms an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. The truth is that every great achievement in human history began as a desire. Before there was a light bulb, there was a desire in the mind of Thomas Edison. Before there was an automobile industry, there was a desire in the heart of Henry Ford. Before there was an empire built from imagination, there was a desire inside Walt Disney. The world always sees the achievement. The world celebrates the result. But few people understand the invisible force that created it. Desire. Not wishful thinking. Not idle dreaming. Not temporary excitement. Desire. A force so powerful that it can bend circumstances, overcome obstacles, and transform impossibilities into realities. The difference between a dream and reality is not luck. It is desire. A weak desire produces weak effort. A weak effort produces weak results. But a burning desire changes everything. Because when desire becomes strong enough, the mind begins searching for possibilities instead of excuses. The body discovers energy it didn't know it possessed. The spirit becomes resilient. The impossible begins to look achievable. And obstacles become stepping stones rather than barriers. Look around you. Everything you see was once an idea. Every building, every company, every invention, every movement, every masterpiece, every fortune, every legacy. Someone desired it before it existed. Someone believed in it before anyone else could see it. Someone was willing to endure doubt, criticism, failure, and uncertainty because their desire was stronger than their fear. That is where transformation begins. Not with talent, not with resources, not with perfect conditions, but with desire. Because talent without desire fades. Resources without desire are wasted. Opportunity without desire goes unnoticed. But desire creates its own opportunities. Desire attracts knowledge. Desire fuels persistence. Desire inspires courage. Desire awakens potential. Many people spend their lives waiting for motivation. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Desire is different. Desire remains. Desire survives bad days. Desire survives disappointment. Desire survives rejection. Desire survives failure. Because desire is not an emotion. It is a decision. A decision that says, I refuse to accept less than I am capable of becoming. And once that decision is made, something remarkable happens. Your entire life begins to shift. You start seeing things differently. You stop focusing on what you lack. You begin focusing on what you can create. You stop asking why something can't be done. You begin asking how it can be done. You stop measuring your future by your current circumstances. You begin measuring your future by the strength of your vision. This is where most people fall behind. They allow reality to dictate their dreams. The great achievers do the opposite. They allow their dreams to reshape reality. When Abraham Lincoln faced repeated failures, he could have surrendered. When Edison encountered thousands of unsuccessful experiments, he could have quit. When Ford was told his ideas were impossible, he could have listened. But desire does not negotiate with temporary defeat. Desire sees beyond the present moment. Desire understands that failure is not a verdict. Failure is information. Failure is instruction. Failure is preparation. The person with a weak desire sees obstacles and retreats. The person with a burning desire sees obstacles and adapts. Because they understand something powerful. The path to greatness is never straight. Every mountain has steep climbs. Every storm eventually passes. Every challenge contains a lesson. And every setback contains a hidden opportunity. Life does not test your desire to punish you. Life tests your desire to reveal its strength. Anyone can be excited when progress is easy. Anyone can feel confident when results come quickly. But what happens when success takes longer than expected? What happens when nobody believes in your vision? What happens when effort goes unnoticed? What happens when doubt begins speaking louder than hope? That is where destiny is decided. Because the future belongs to those who continue moving when the excitement disappears. The future belongs to those who keep believing when evidence is scarce. The future belongs to those who understand that persistence is desire in action. Every day you are either strengthening your dream or abandoning it. There is no neutral. The habits you repeat become the reality you experience. The thoughts you entertain become the beliefs you hold. The beliefs you hold become the actions you take. And the actions you take become the life you live. That is why desire must be protected. The world is full of distractions, full of noise, full of opinions, full of people who project their limitations onto others. If you listen to everyone, you will forget your own voice. If you follow every opinion, you will lose your own direction. The greatest visions often begin in solitude. Not because success requires isolation, but because clarity requires silence. You must learn to hear your own ambitions. You must learn to trust your own vision. You must learn to believe in possibilities that nobody else can see. Because before the world believes in you, you must believe in yourself. Before the world rewards your efforts, you must commit to your efforts. Before the world applauds your success, you must endure your struggles. That is the price. And it is a price worth paying. Because there is a greater pain than failure. The pain of unrealized potential. The pain of knowing you could have become more. The pain of reaching the end of your life and wondering what might have happened if you had trusted your dream. Never underestimate the cost of abandoned desire. Dreams do not disappear. They linger. They wait. They whisper. They remind you of who you were meant to become. And the longer they are ignored, the heavier they become. But the moment you decide to act, everything changes. Not because circumstances instantly improve. Not because obstacles magically disappear. But because you become different. And when you become different, your results begin to change. Your standards rise. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence grows. Your discipline strengthens. Your vision expands. And suddenly the person you once wanted to become begins emerging from within you. The greatest secret is this. Reality is created twice. First in the mind, then in the world. Every achievement is born in imagination before it appears in physical form. The architect sees the building before it exists. The inventor sees the creation before it is built. The entrepreneur sees the company before it is launched. The champion sees the victory before the competition begins. Vision always comes before reality. And desire is what keeps that vision alive long enough to become real. So guard your mind carefully. Feed it with possibility. Feed it with purpose. Feed it with belief. Because the images you repeatedly hold become the blueprint of your future. The mind is far more powerful than most people realize. It is a magnet. Whatever dominates your thoughts eventually influences your actions. Whatever influences your actions eventually shapes your destiny. If you constantly focus on limitations, you will discover more limitations. If you constantly focus on opportunity, you will discover more opportunity. The outer world often mirrors the inner world. That is why self-mastery is essential. Not mastery over others. Mastery over yourself. Mastery over doubt. Mastery over fear. Mastery over distraction. Mastery over procrastination. Mastery over the habits that keep people trapped in mediocrity. Because success is never conquered externally before it is conquered internally. And every day offers a choice. Will you feed your fears? Or will you feed your desire? Will you strengthen your excuses? Or will you strengthen your vision? Will you surrender to circumstances? Or will you rise above them? The answer to those questions determines everything. The answer to those questions determines everything. Because destiny is rarely decided in dramatic moments. It is decided in ordinary moments. The moments when nobody is watching. The moments when comfort calls your name. The moments when the bed feels warmer than your ambition. The moments when excuses sound reasonable. The moments when quitting seems justified. Those moments reveal the true depth of your desire. Anyone can dream when the sun is shining. Anyone can feel powerful when life is easy. But the individuals who reshape their reality are the ones who keep moving through uncertainty. They understand a truth that escapes most people. Success is not built in the spotlight. It is built in the shadows. It is built during the early mornings when discipline wins over comfort. It is built during the late nights when purpose wins over distraction. It is built through thousands of invisible decisions that nobody celebrates. The world applauds the victory. But it never sees the countless battles fought within the mind. Every champion has faced self-doubt. Every leader has faced criticism. Every visionary has faced ridicule. Every achiever has faced moments when the goal seemed impossibly distant. What separates them from the crowd is not that they avoided these struggles. What separates them is that they refused to surrender to them. The mind is a battlefield. And every day, two voices compete for control. One voice speaks of limitations. It reminds you of your failures. It magnifies your weaknesses. It predicts disaster. It demands certainty before action. It waits for perfect conditions. The other voice speaks of possibility. It reminds you of your potential. It magnifies your strengths. It imagines opportunity. It acts despite uncertainty. It creates momentum through movement. The voice that grows stronger is the voice you feed. And that is why desire must become an obsession. Not an unhealthy obsession with proving yourself to others, but an obsession with becoming the highest version of yourself. Because the greatest competition in life is never against another person. It is against the person you could become if you fully committed to your purpose. Imagine standing face to face with that version of yourself. The stronger version, the wiser version, the disciplined version, the courageous version, the successful version, the version that refused to settle. What separates you from that person? Often, far less than you think. A few decisions, a few habits, a few years of focused effort, a few moments of courage repeated consistently. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in miles. It is measured in mindset. The moment your thinking changes, your direction changes. And when your direction changes, your future changes. That is why clarity is so important. Many people want success, but they cannot define it. Many people want wealth, but they have no vision for what they would do with it. Many people want a better life, but they have never truly decided what that life looks like. A ship without a destination drifts. A mind without a vision wanders. Energy without direction produces exhaustion. But desire combined with clarity creates power. When you know exactly what you want, decisions become easier. Distractions lose their influence. Temporary pleasures lose their appeal. The noise of the world becomes less important. Because purpose creates focus. And focus creates progress. Think about a magnifying glass. When sunlight is scattered, it creates warmth. But when that same light is focused into a single point, it creates fire. Human potential works the same way. Most people scatter their energy. They chase trends. They chase approval. They chase distractions. And because their energy is divided, their results are limited. But the person with a clear vision concentrates their effort. Every action aligns with a greater purpose. Every decision serves a greater mission. Every sacrifice supports a greater future. And over time, that focused energy becomes unstoppable. There is extraordinary power in knowing exactly what you are willing to fight for. Because life will test every dream. Not once. Not twice. Again and again. There will be seasons when progress feels invisible. There will be seasons when effort appears unrewarded. There will be seasons when doubt surrounds you from every direction. Those are the moments when desire must become stronger than emotion. Emotion changes daily. Desire remains. Emotion says, I don't feel like it. Desire says, do it anyway. Emotion says, this is too difficult. Desire says, grow stronger. Emotion says, maybe later. Desire says, now. The future is built by those who obey desire rather than emotion. This is why discipline is one of the greatest expressions of self-respect. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is love for your future self. Every disciplined action is a message. A declaration. A promise. A vote for the person you are becoming. When you wake up early to work toward your goals, you are casting a vote. When you choose learning over entertainment, you are casting a vote. When you choose courage over comfort, you are casting a vote. When you choose persistence over surrender, you are casting a vote. And eventually those votes accumulate. They form habits. Those habits form character. That character forms destiny. Many people underestimate the power of small actions. They want dramatic transformation overnight. They want immediate success, immediate wealth, immediate recognition. But nature teaches a different lesson. The mightiest oak tree begins as a seed. The strongest river begins as a stream. The tallest mountain was shaped grain by grain. Greatness grows gradually. Success compounds quietly. And desire provides the patience to continue growing while results remain invisible. Never despise small beginnings. The first step matters. The first page matters. The first workout matters. The first attempt matters. Because momentum is one of the most powerful forces in existence. Once movement begins, possibilities expand. Confidence grows. Skill improves. Knowledge increases. And what once seemed impossible begins to appear inevitable. The tragedy is that many people never start. Not because they lack ability. Not because they lack opportunity. But because they fear imperfection. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they know enough. They wait until circumstances improve. And while they wait, life passes. The truth is that readiness is created through action. Confidence is created through action. Experience is created through action. The road reveals itself to those who walk it. No amount of planning can replace movement. No amount of wishing can replace effort. No amount of dreaming can replace execution. Dreams become reality when desire transforms into disciplined action. That transformation changes everything. Because once action begins, a new force enters your life. Growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Growth demands adaptation. Growth requires leaving behind old identities. The person who achieves extraordinary results cannot continue thinking like the person who settles for average. New results require new beliefs. New beliefs require new habits. New habits require new standards. And new standards require courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement despite fear. Every meaningful achievement demands courage. The courage to begin. The courage to continue. The courage to fail. The courage to learn. The courage to stand alone when necessary. History belongs to courageous people. Not fearless people. Courageous people. People who felt fear but acted anyway. People who encountered uncertainty but moved forward anyway. People who faced obstacles but persisted anyway. Every great story is a story of courage meeting resistance. And every meaningful life follows the same pattern. Resistance is not proof that you should stop. Resistance is proof that growth is occurring. The butterfly struggles to leave the cocoon. The eagle struggles against the wind. The diamond forms under pressure. Strength is born through challenge. And character is forged through adversity. That is why gratitude is so powerful. Not gratitude only when life is easy. Not gratitude only when circumstances are favorable. But gratitude during the climb. Gratitude during the struggle. Gratitude during the uncertainty. Because gratitude changes perspective. It reminds you that every challenge carries a lesson. Every setback carries wisdom. Every obstacle carries an opportunity for growth. The grateful person sees resources where others see scarcity. They see possibilities where others see problems. They see blessings where others see burdens. And because of that perspective, they move through life with greater resilience. Resilience is one of the greatest treasures a person can develop. Because life is unpredictable, markets change, industries change, technology changes, circumstances change. But resilient people adapt. They bend without breaking. They learn without surrendering. They evolve without losing their purpose. Like water flowing around stone, they find a path forward no matter what stands before them. And that adaptability becomes a source of strength. Because those who cling to old ways eventually become trapped by them. But those who continue learning remain powerful. The world rewards learners. The world rewards curiosity. The world rewards those who remain students even after achieving success. The moment you believe you know everything, growth stops. The moment you remain teachable, growth continues. Knowledge is fuel. Wisdom is direction. Action is the vehicle. And desire is the engine that keeps everything moving forward. The journey toward greatness is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming fully yourself. It is about uncovering the potential that has always existed within you. It is about removing doubt, fear, limitation, and hesitation until your true power can emerge. Because deep inside you is more strength than you realize. More creativity than you realize. More courage than you realize. More resilience than you realize. More greatness than you realize. And every day your desire is calling it forward. Every day your vision is inviting it into reality. Every day your future is waiting for your decision. The question is not whether greatness exists within you.